Hey everyone, welcome back to Homestead Corner. Today I want to talk about grocery prices rising even more. I am seeing more and more articles about groceries rising. Even Canada they're setting records in inflation for the last 30 years. And on the news, I heard the US was at a 40-year high for inflation in 2021. Things are not looking to get better anytime soon. Supply chain's a wreck. We all know that. The train robberies out in LA are not helping anything. They are just stealing all kinds of stuff to sell or whatever they're doing with it. God only knows. But they are wreaking havoc on the supply chain as well as all the other stuff, the mandates, the shortages. It just is compounding worse and worse. And as food prices rise, we have seen over the past quite a few years, quite a long time, we have seen a lot of the elderly have to decide between medication and food, which is absolutely horrific and horrible. Nobody should have to decide that, but the prices of medication are so high here that that is a big problem. And I think we are going to see more and more people have to decide between other necessities and food. And many people, with the food prices just climbing and climbing, they're expecting a pretty good hike in produce and dairy, things like that, the fresh stuff that you get quite often. They're expecting all of that stuff to really skyrocket over the next year, and that's going to cause a lot of families. Are you going to have to give up food to feed your child? I mean, you may have to go down on a meal, miss a meal to make sure your kid is getting everything they need, which is really unfortunate and horrible, but that is the way that it looks like things are going because the prices are just getting really out of hand. We have seen, if you can find it, a lot of the store shelves are empty. They're missing all kinds of products. Things aren't there. The cheaper products especially are the ones that are missing the most because people can't afford those higher priced items. You know, I see a decent amount of beef in the store, but I don't see any beef in anybody's cart most of the time. Maybe some ground beef, but mostly people are purchasing what is on sale and what is affordable to get through. And right now, we're all feeling these prices, but this is not even close to the end. It is going to skyrocket and skyrocket. And the higher prices get, the less and less we're going to see on the shelves. If you look at other countries, when they collapsed, unfortunately, if you look at them, we're following in their footsteps. We're going that way, and we need to be prepared for this because things are just, if you just look at the patterns in other countries, how they collapsed, we're in it. We are going to see more and more stuff happen. I mean, the violence is rising. The incomes, there's a lot of people out of work. People don't have the money for stuff. You got to feed your family one way or another. The food pantry lines are just out of control. Many people in the cities especially are waiting hours and hours in line to get food from food pantries and food banks, things like that. So we need to be prepared for this to make sure that when we can't get stuff at the grocery store, when we can't afford it, there may be stuff there that you can't afford. You know, we have to look at that. How are we going to feed our children and our families? And grandma still needs to eat. We got to make sure that we are looking out for our elderly family, that their incomes, you know, they got this great raise in their Social Security, and the government touted like it was so dang wonderful, except their insurance went up twice as much as their raise. So they're no better off. They are actually have less money per month probably now than they did last month, which is really sad. This is not how the elderly should be treated, but this is how it is here. And this really goes out to the newer people that haven't started, are thinking of starting a pantry, things like that. We are running out of time. I really believe that we are, and I think that people need to jump on the bandwagon. I don't think that you're going to have much of a choice. If you're not prepared, you're going to go hungry. We really have to look at all angles of this and how we are going to get through it with our families, our children, our elderly members of our families. We need to look at all of that. And the prices, if you just read a couple of articles, watch the news, I'm sure. I have linked a couple of articles down below that I was reading and I think are important just to see that this is not going to be stopping anytime soon. These grocery prices are just ridiculous and they're going to continue to rise. And just, they're saying 5% in the first half of the year. But, you know, if you listen to the government and the media, we haven't gone up only a little bit more than that in the last year, and that is totally untrue. We have seen 25% hikes in one point, you know, 14% hikes, all different kinds of hikes all through the year, and it just kept coming and coming. And now, I mean, the price of beef, it is not uncommon to go in and see a steak sitting there for $40, you know, 30, 40 bucks for a package of steak. I mean, who can eat that? You can't even afford it. So, you know, make sure freezers are full. Can, all you can. If you can can food, that is your best way. If the grid goes down, your food is going to be okay. It doesn't need for refrigeration that way. I think canning is a skill that everybody should have. And, you know, they canned before they had pressure canners. I know a lot of people would freak out if they heard me say that, and that's okay, but you do what you got to do to take care of your family. I totally believe that. So if you guys are interested, there are a couple of articles in the projected price increases that are coming up shortly. Some of it is from trucking, some of it is, you know, it's all different angles coming at this and just destroying the supply chain and making the cost of food unattainable for some people, which is absolutely horrible. And that's it for today. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!